Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and I will be the trainer for this hour. This class will be a class on basically fluency. We will be asking and answering the questions, what would happen if? So we basically will go over the conditional, and we'll also look at some idioms having to do with conditionals. This is real quick what we'll be looking at. And each person in this class, each person, depending on the class, will have a chance to lead the discussion and get everybody involved. Looking forward to working with you as we practice what would happen if. My name is Holly, and I will be the language trainer for this hour, and we will be going over the conditionals, what would happen if. And a little about me. I was raised in Idaho in the USA. Most of my life, I did leave, and for 20 years I lived elsewhere. I lived in Finland for 11 years, and I lived in South Korea for 2 years. So, and I've been teaching English since 1994. So hello, Alexander. Hello again.
Hello again.
So, um, so are you going to be working this weekend, or do you have any plans for the weekend?
Yeah, many plans. I've many work to do, and I have to attend some uh, uh, meeting to find a new job, to get a new job.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what kind of new job are you looking for?
It's some uh, relevant with internet, some relevant with sales.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe will be temporary job because of that problem on the previous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. And Jakub, welcome. Is it Jakub or
Hello.
hello? Is that how you pronounce your name, or is it Jacob?
Um, in English it's Jacob, but in Polish it's Jakub, as you
Oh,
said.
I did say it right. Yes.
You
So
you can say Kuba as well.
Kuba. Okay. I'll probably just read the name. That's what I usually do. So it really messes me up when people have a name like they're using their husband or wife's account. It's like, oh. So, Jakub, welcome. So, are you living in Poland right now?
Yes, I'm living in
So,
Poland
so,
right now.
so what time is it there right now? Is it 8 or 7?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. Okay, well, welcome. My name is Holly, and I'm from the USA, where it is 11 p.m. on Thursday evening. And this is Alexander, and he's from Russia, and we'll have a few more people coming in as well. Are you new to Verbling, or have you been taking classes for a while?
No, I have already 3 lessons
Hmm.
verbally.
Okay, just
So
a few lessons.
yes.
Hmm. All right, all right. Well, welcome. Um, Excellent. This class are going to concentrate more on fluency and just practice speaking, and depending on who all comes, will yeah, everyone will get a chance to facilitate the discussion as well. So that should be fun. Um, so we have a lot of different interesting
I've
topics.
heard that you said we will work on conditionals today.
Conditionals and fluency, yes.
Yeah, but will you provide some rules about conditional?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go over a little bit, very very little, because most of the time, people have studied English. It's using it that people don't get the chance to do. So, so that's what I hope to have people do, is get a chance to practice. So, anyway, all right. So, what do you do, Jakub?
Oh, I'm just a manager. I manage a chain of grocery store.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we have it's fun here at Verbling. We have people from all over the world and with all different types of jobs and all kinds of situations. So that's really neat. So, in Poland, is the chain of grocery stores? Are there very many chains, or do you have just 2 or 3 that compete, or what's the situation?
It's very many, but depends on the not capacity. I mean, how many meters square they have, how
Mm-hmm.
we can vary them, how we can call. Depends on the
Their size.
Depends on the size. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought there is another word. Depends
Yeah.
on the size. There
Uh-huh.
are too many competitors,
Uh-huh.
com,
Competitors.
competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've heard Lidl company.
Yes, I
It's
know little. Uh-huh.
all over the Europe,
Mm-hmm.
and there are two more. Netto. And the last one is Biedronka. We call it Biedronka.
Mm.
So there are three. Uh, they are big one,
Mm-hmm.
but there are a lot of smaller
Mm-hmm.
grocery store chains.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the market is full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting in the U.S. when it comes to the grocery chains. We have some national ones and international as well. Like, for example, Safeway.
And
Um,
7-Eleven
well, yeah, 7-Eleven it's a convenience store.
convenience, yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
So, but it's when you go to a different region of the U.S., you have different grocery stores that are the main ones. For example, here in Idaho, where I live, the main ones are Albertsons and Winco, and
Mhm.
and then we have, of course, the national ones like Walmart is the main one, and then you go down to the Midwest, a big one is Kroger, and you go to the East Coast and they all have different ones. And so you go to a different section of the US and you know you're in a different section because the grocery stores are different.
Okay.
So which is weird because a lot of the restaurants are the same, but the grocery stores differ. So
So if you visit other region in US,
uh-huh.
you see the name of the grocery store and you say it must be Utah because there is for example, Utah, of course, because there is a grocery store, it's placed in Utah, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah, or and not really the actual state, but the region, the area, the Northwest, for example, they have a lot of Wincos, and which you would find this interesting. Winco is an employee-owned store, and so all the employees own it. And I was reading a newspaper article just yesterday about the 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 store, and there are people that have worked there for about 30 years,
Hmm.
and they when they retire in their 50s, they will be millionaires because because it's an employee-owned store. They have been putting dividends into their retirement accounts
All right.
for the last 30 years. So it's like I was very surprised when I read it, but it's really cool too. So well, let's go ahead and start, and hopefully other people will come. If not, we'll just have a class with a small group. So so we have on this we have modals of probability. A lot of times when we give when we talk about conditionals, we have must, might or may, could, and can't. When you have must, you're 100% sure that something will happen. Might or may is used to express an opinion that something might happen. Then we have could, which is used to express a possibility, which is one of many. And then you have can't. And can't, you're 100% sure that something will not happen. And so these are, when we talk about probability or conditionals, these are some of the modals that we would use. Any questions about any of these?
Yes, I have a question about could and about my or may and could, because in both there is it's something might or could happen, but you have no 100% sure it will, or you are not 100% sure that it won't. But where is the difference?
With might or may, there's another example that I've always given. I don't have it on this slide though. You have with modals, you have some that are. Let's see if I can get a pen. See if I can write this.
Maybe it's more probably in might and might it will happen than in could.
Exactly. Oh. So you have, this is like a thermometer. This is like the hottest area where it's 100% sure. But this is must, okay. And this is can't, where it's cold. It's not going to happen. And then may, might, and could are somewhere in this area. So it could be 40, 50, or 60% is what it would be. I call it my modal thermometer is what I call it. So.
Okay. All right.
Right. Okay, so let's go on. We've got some idioms that have to do with probability that we could possibly use on this lesson. We have when pigs fly, when hell freezes over, a cold day in hell, a snowball's chance in hell, and in all probability. Alexander, do you know what any of these mean? Any idea?
No.
Okay.
In all probability, maybe it's like it could be possible. It's plausible.
Yeah. In all probability would be something like it is plausible. It could happen. There's a big chance that this could happen. Where all the rest of them, for example, when pigs fly, when hell freezes over, a cold day in hell, or a snowball's chance in hell. These are other idioms that are used. Hello, Ken. These are idioms that are used when there's pretty much no chance of this situation happening. So you can. I would encourage you guys not to use idioms until they come naturally to you. If they just kind of come out of your mouth because they've become because you've heard them so much, they just become natural. But in the process, if you hear somebody say one of these 4 idioms, you know that basically there's no way. Like for example, there's no way in hell that this would ever happen. It's a cold day in hell before this could happen. Pigs will fly before this will happen. When pigs fly, so Hello, Ake.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Okay. Welcome. Any questions about these? Okay, let's go on. Now we're going to basically start the fluency activity. What would happen, and my hope is that we'll talk about this for quite a long time, but what would happen if marijuana was legal everywhere in the world? Alexander, what do you think about this?
Everywhere in the world, I think it might happen. Might.
It might happen, okay. And what kind of it might happen, and what kinds of things could happen if it were to happen?
Do you mean what have to happen
Yes.
to?
Yeah. So what would happen if it happens everywhere in the world? What could happen? Is there any?
Maybe when people refuse to drink alcohol, like now it's very popular with cigarettes around the world. Every year, many people refuses to leave off to smoke.
Okay, so people.
I think in future the same might be with alcohol, and it might be that marijuana will be legalized.
Okay.
I might.
Okay. So it might be legalized, and anything in our society change because marijuana is illegalized, or will it always be the same?
Well, what? Sorry, first.
Will people change because marijuana is legal, or will it be the same? Or was it the same?
It's hard to say. No, I don't think much change will
Okay.
change.
So very little things will change. Okay.
Yes,
All right. Thank you. And Jakob, what do you think? Do you think that what do you think would happen if marijuana was legal everywhere in the world?
If marijuana was legal, no, if marijuana would legal,
Were legal? If marijuana were legal?
More people than now may smoke it. More if marijuana would legal, a lot of stores may sell it. And I don't know if marijuana would have any impact of our social life, because I'm not an insider, but I think if people would smoke a lot of marijuana, it would have a bad impact for our health. I think so, but I'm not sure.
So like smoking, a similar impact as smoking, or okay, all right. And what do you think, Ake?
Maybe illegal drug dealer will be unemployed.
Okay.
And state government can get more revenue from marijuana.
Okay, so drug dealers will become unemployed. So what will they change
they shift to a more dangerous drug, probably.
Okay. What kind of jobs would they have? They'll switch to dangerous drugs, like
or maybe other type of illegal jobs.
Do you think more drugs, if marijuana were legal, that more people would turn to other types of drugs?
Some people go, some people are not. Go not.
Okay.
Because,
All right.
because of such a drug abuse issue, maybe behind that some other problem will exist. But once people started such, marijuana is not so addictive, but a very addictive drug, maybe they cannot get out of it so easily, actually.
Yeah,
So
marijuana. Yeah, well,
that's a kind of the discussion point of legalization of marijuana.
uh-huh.
Some people claim marijuana could be a start point of using such a more dangerous drug, and some people say it's not true or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I just heard two opinions. Terms of, yeah.
Is it an issue in Japan? Do people want to legalize marijuana?
The situation here is pretty conservative, so before almost like 50s America. So
Oh, so no.
Yeah, no.
Not right now. So it's not. Is it a taboo topic at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so people that do it don't tell anybody. So okay, how about in Poland, Jakub? Is legalizing marijuana an issue in Poland?
No, from time to time, but every time it appears, it's gone after a few days. So it's a small issue.
Okay.
There is a group of people want to make marijuana legal, but the majority of Polish people don't agree.
Okay. And the people who do, they can always travel to Holland. It's legal in Holland, right?
Yes, it's legal.
Yeah. So just go to Holland for a weekend and then come back. So,
that's right.
Yeah. Alexander, how about in Russia? Is this an issue in Russia at all to legalize marijuana?
Well, I think in Russia I don't think that in the close future it will be legalized because one of the reason it's not because the government take care of people. No, the main reason I think that this kind of stuff can give let's say the government wants that people buy alcohol, not their other thing.
Okay. The government wants the people to buy alcohol.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very big money in government pocket.
So is Russia similar to Finland in that all of the liquor stores in Finland are government owned? Is that the same in Russia?
Oh no! Is Finland the old store?
Yeah, the liquor stores are all government owned.
Whoa!
At least they were 5 years ago when I was living there.
Oh my God! Oh, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
No, we don't have that.
They lowered the tax on alcohol a few years before I left, and they saw an increase in domestic violence.
Of course, the alcohol is a real shit. I have a ton of friends and even relative who died from this crap.
Okay. All right. Yeah, in the States, we have 2 states right now who have legalized marijuana, Washington State and Colorado. And it blows me away because Colorado is very conservative. So, but they did legalize it. So, are there any other countries besides the U.S. and the Netherlands where marijuana is legal? Do you guys know?
I don't know. How about Jamaica? I don't know. Is it legal or not? But I think it's like cultural thing
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah. Okay, do you know?
Maybe in the class I read the article about Uruguay.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm not sure about Uruguay legalized all drugs actually,
Mm-hmm.
in accordance to that article.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Jakub, do you know? Have you heard of any other nations who have legalized marijuana?
As you only said, Holland. It's the only country I've heard the marijuana is legal.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have
And
two
two,
states in the
and
U.S.
2 states as well. I've heard
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah. All right.
only
Ahmed, welcome. How are you today?
Yes, I'm good.
Excellent.
I'm
So,
very
doing well, doing well. This is my last class before a 4-day vacation, so I'm kind of excited. I haven't taken a day off from teaching since New Year's Day. It's just kind of accident. I didn't realize I did this until about a week or 10 days ago. So
yeah.
anyway, yeah, so we're going over questions about what would happen if, and this question we have, what would happen if marijuana was legal everywhere in the world? So Ahmed, the question right now where I'm asking is, do you know, besides Holland and possibly Uruguay and a couple states in the U.S., do you know of any other places in the world where marijuana is legal?
No, I think that in this area, not have the people here not have permission to use it.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe in this place where you say now, where you said now, have some controversial discussion
Mm-hmm.
because there was some country try to ban it or prohibited it, and others try to give to make it possible to make person or people possible to use it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's very controversial. In the States, it's one of the issues that people are discussing now as to whether it should be considered legal or illegal. So, a question for you guys. Okay, what happens to a person if they're caught with marijuana in Japan?
Maybe people maybe arrested, they stay in the jail, kind of, and maybe they have to leave the job or school
Okay.
after that. So not only the judicial punishment, but also the social punishment.
Okay. So not only they get ostracized, or they get do they lose friends and stuff like that as well, possibly?
I don't know also such a personal issue, but on public issue, that's caused a serious damage.
Okay, yeah. So that it's very difficult to get a job or anything after that. Wow. Okay. And Alexander, how about in Russia? What happens if a person is caught smoking marijuana?
If smoking or carrying,
Smoking or carrying, either one.
it's different. If smoking, it's I don't think the police would do anything. Maybe they catch you in a couple of hours in jail. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you they sign up you to a, I don't know how it's in English actually.
Is it a drug rehab?
No, it's not drug rehab. It's like you will be in the special list of
Mm.
drugs. It's not very good, especially if your workers or in your university, for instance, will know about it. It will be a problem. You can lose it. But if you carry it, it depends on how much you carry.
Hmm. So if you're
Uh,
when you mean carry, do you mean drug dealing?
no. I mean that you have with yourself in pocket. Maybe
Okay.
when they pat you down and they find maybe one cigarette with marijuana. Um, it's not. Maybe they also took you in jail in a couple of hours, but it's not that big. But if they find more, like maybe 200 grams or
Hmm.
approximately something like that, I don't know exactly you can go to jail,
Hmm. Okay.
and you will, I think.
Hmm. And I think that I don't know what the list is that you're talking about, but it could be, excuse me, something like the blacklist, like a type of I don't know, maybe a blacklist where people, if you're blacklisted, you're not allowed to do certain things. The other thing is, uh, when it happens, maybe you are now on the radar of the police. So if you're on their radar, they will watch you closer than they did
Uh,
before.
I don't really know, but it's something like that. It's like probation
Hmm.
when
Okay.
they might maybe you have to. I think you have to attend maybe once a week and
Yeah, that's
give your
probation. Hmm.
blood to test if you use the drug or not.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Jakub, what happens in Poland?
Um, and it depends on what is the weight of marijuana you have. If this is a small amount only for someone's use only,
Hmm.
I think uh, um, the person who was catched by a police uh, will have a lawsuit only.
Okay.
But if someone has uh, a big amount of marijuana and it looks like he's he's selling this
Hmm.
for another people, I'm sure the person like this uh, accused
Hmm.
will be accused and will go to the jail. I
Hmm.
think so.
Okay. All right. So remember, it's catch, caught, caught. So if they're caught, not catched,
All
caught.
right.
Okay.
So, all right.
And also, in English, we would say go to jail instead of go to the jail.
Go to jail. All right.
Yeah. So we don't have a article before that. Excellent. Ahmed, what happened in your country?
In terms of
Yeah, if somebody was caught smoking marijuana in Qatar, do you know what would happen?
yeah, I think no no mercy about that. The country here not show any mercy if people are smoking marijuana or other drugs
Uh-huh.
related to its impact. I think the the first step it's the person who will take in jail. And after that, maybe the court he will stay or will bring will go to the court, and after that maybe the court maybe give some punishing
Punishment.
punish him in many year for prison, and after that maybe he will put in this blacklist, and the police put his her put its eyes on them after he went from prison.
Okay, yeah. So he after prison he would be on probation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he might be blacklisted from. To be blacklisted is not allowed to do things. So he might be blacklisted from things that normal people are able to do. In the States, if you have a felony, a lot of time you're not allowed to do things that normally you would. So, all right. Thank you very much. And keep in mind, you can also say long prison term. So he would receive a long prison term. So, okay. Let's see. Next one. What would happen if computers replaced teachers? So, okay, what do you think? What would happen if computers replaced teachers?
In current computer level is not enough to teach, actually, because they cannot think. They cannot, how can I say, deal with unexpected situation, like human do. So maybe robot-like teaching only.
So maybe what?
Robot-like teaching only.
So robot teaching. Okay.
Yeah, I talked with the kind of the site at kind of letter chat with robot. Maybe she called Alice, but her reply is pretty unnatural. So it's very difficult to communicate with her.
How fun! How funny! So, all right. And Alexander, what do you think? What would happen if computers replaced teachers?
I think we will get a very cold, hard generation of people.
Okay.
Because the children need people.
Okay, cold, hard generation of people. That's a good way of saying that. Because we need socialization.
Yes, yeah. Robots don't have feelings, but in future, intelligent of robots can be, according to one of the scientists, that can be laugh, smiling, and be sad. So who knows what will be in the future.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know if a computer would ever really truly understand emotion.
Not of course truly, it's just the program who can learn algorithm, or I don't know how to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it would be algorithm. That sounds right. So, and Jakub, what do you think? What would happen if computers replaced teachers?
You know, I can imagine that computers would able to teach, but I cannot imagine would able to bring up children. So I think this would be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because computers cannot really can't do this. Yeah. So would if it were to happen, would do you agree with Alexander that we would have a cold, hard generation of people?
That's right.
Yeah.
I can agree.
Okay. Ahmed, what do you think? What would happen if computers replaced teachers?
I think we lost the good teaching because the human the human mind is better than any invented product
Mm-hmm.
for him
Mm-hmm.
from him, and maybe we lost the interactive which we saw in when human teach any people.
Uh-huh.
That will be a huge problem for humanity.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you that it is probably not possible for a computer to actually replace the teachers. But what about kids going to school at home over their computer, kind of like you guys are studying English right now?
Sorry?
What about children, instead of children getting up in the morning and going to school, they get up in the morning and they go into a school room in their at home, and they take lessons the way we are taking lessons now.
No, I think that this very interactive, very good way for adults, but not for children. Children must go to schools and meet the others and make some interactive every day to learn and to show how people speak, how people deal with any problem in the life. When he stay in his home and only teaching by this kind of teaching or learning, I think that maybe not not a good way to learn.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Okay, what do you think? Do you agree with Ahmed that that this kind of learning is okay for adults, but for children, they would be lacking all kinds of socialization and ability to learn how to interact with other people?
Yeah, and maybe, and if that happen, maybe they need to attend, the other socializing kind of group or something
Mm-hmm.
instead of that. And some students, who cannot go to school for some reasons, or
Mm-hmm.
if the abusing happening in the school, in that case, this kind of education can be substitute for the small kids as well, or kids who are living in a very isolated area. I heard nowadays, the kind of the NGO or other experiment NGO gave kids in maybe desert, in the very poor areas, the kids, isolated desert kids, they cannot go to school, so they don't read, and they don't they cannot access to the education, but they are if they just gave the computer to the kids, and the kids learn how to use maybe tablet by themselves, maybe 2 weeks or only 2 weeks or so. Maybe yeah, this kind of thing, kind of changing such situation too. So But basically, maybe socializing, maybe old school is kind of better than being alone in the home.
Okay.
If,
All right. And Alexander, you had written already that it would be like prison or army for children. Could you expand more on what you mean by that?
I meant it about the robots as a teacher.
Robot. Okay, Caesar. But what about if they had live teachers, but they just stayed at home?
I think it's very plausible in future that the schools will disappear because it's safer. Yes, it's not that good for children because children have to be in group with his age, with his friends. But I think it's very plausible.
Okay. Jakub, what do you think? What about live teachers, but they're still studying at home?
But I think it's not a good idea because, as my colleague said before, we cannot isolate children from each other. We have to socialize them because in the nearest future they wouldn't know how to behave in the group.
Okay.
They would behave like a person who is only one in the world, so it can be a problem. So I think it's not a good idea.
Okay, and the word instead of isolate, it's isolate. Isolate. Yeah, did you guys know that this is actually happening in the U.S.? In my area, there are at least 3 virtual schools for children. And the kids study on the computer and their parents help them, and then they have depending on the level, they have live lessons in a virtual classroom with teachers. And it's actually becoming more fairly popular, and the schools are actually public schools, which means they're publicly funded and they're free for families to do. Have you guys heard about these schools?
No.
Not for the school, but kind of after school education is vital, you know. In the past, students have to go to the school, not the school, how can I say, after school to review, such kind of thing. But nowadays, online tutoring is beginning to be popular here.
Yeah, because in your part of the world, the kids will study at institutes after school until late in the evening, right?
Yeah. So sometimes kids return to home very late, so it could have a how can I say, safety issue, and maybe online tutoring is getting more popular here now than ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that there's a lot of job ads for online tutoring as well. How about in the rest of your countries? Is there any type of virtual schools or online schools or tutoring?
There's nothing like that in my country. Of course, there is a lot of online courses. You can chat or talk with your teacher live, but as you said, it's only part of your education. It's only part of your life, but nothing 100% online.
Okay, yeah, that's in the States. It's like that, and then there's of course the debate, socialization. How are the kids socializing if they're staying at home? And a lot of the families that do that actually are very active in the community and churches and all that kind of stuff. But I know of some kids that probably should be at school, so because they're not socialized as well. There's a girl who's almost 16 years old, and she acts like she's 13 because she hasn't been around a lot of kids her own age. So.
But can I ask something about that kind of schools?
Yeah.
What's your experience about this kind of school? What's the deep impact for that kind of teaching for children?
I don't think that anybody really knows completely. I know that it's the online schools are fairly new. They're new in the last 5 to 7 years. But one type of school that's been really popular in the U.S. Since for maybe 30 years is homeschooling. And I was very interested in homeschooling, and that's where the kids actually stay at home and their parents teach them. And I was very interested in it when I was in high school, and I researched it, and I wrote my first research paper on it. And I started out against homeschooling, and after I researched it, I was actually for it because I found more research saying that the kids, if the parents are educated, and then the parents can actually provide better education for the kids, depending on the child, then they can get at school. But if the problem is there's some people that decide they want to homeschool their kids, or have them go to these virtual academies, and they only have a 9th grade education themselves. That's the problem, and that in the past it was not that big of an issue because most people that would homeschool their kids were well educated. But now it's kind of changing, and so I don't know exactly how it's going to change this next generation at all. I know my sister tried to do the homeschool her daughter, who's 6 years old, for kindergarten, and it didn't work. So she's sending her now to regular school, but she did try because so many people in my area do it. So.
Okay, one last question. Yesterday, somebody sent me a small message with one paragraph. He say, "Did you know that kids in the North America are forced to sit in classrooms all day, and if they move around, get excited, or make too much noise, they are given drugs to keep them quiet." Is that correct?
Yes and no. One of the things that's happening is there's this thing called ADHD. That's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and a lot of kids who are just regular kids who are active are getting diagnosed with this disease, and it's not they're not really they really don't have this disease. And what's happening is if the teachers are lazy and they don't want to deal with kids who have attention problems, they suggest to the parents that they get them drugged. With drugs, I live with my sister and her husband, and they have 3 kids. All 3 of these children have ADHD, and they are all very, very active. And they just recently were diagnosed with this, but they went through a series of tests. They spent 6 hours or more with doctors testing them on this, and of the 3 kids, the only one that was suggested to take any medication was the youngest one, and the ages for these kids are 5, 5, and 6, and the reason the youngest one is because he has no ability to focus, that when he starts school, he will not be able to learn to write his name because the minute he touches a pencil, he gets distracted, and goes and does something else. So he truly can't focus. So my sister and her husband do not like medication, so they're looking at other alternatives so that he doesn't have to be medicated. But if it turns out either the little boy if he can't learn to read without medication, then they will do it. But I have heard also that teachers are recommending that, and I think it's really stupid because only a small percentage of children should even be on it, even if they have ADHD. They shouldn't be taking drugs. So yeah, it is an issue.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for that.
yeah, you're welcome. So it's an issue, but I don't know. Is it in the other countries? But as far as the kids being, for example, kindergarten kids, they're not having to sit at their desk all day. they're every 15 minutes they're moving around and stuff like that. So the younger ones, the older ones, and once they get to like 3rd grade, yeah, they're sitting at their desks and studying. So yeah. Have the rest of you guys heard this, that teachers are suggesting medication for kids that are too active?
Probably that's happening. I'm not sure about the teacher area, but some kids got medicated because of that. But I think, yeah, medication kids for risky because such kind of mental drug is risky.
Yeah,
and some kids naturally, they're too energetic to stay in the school actually.
Yeah.
So maybe school system itself has a very rigid system. So maybe alternative school like you explained, or some other choice would be necessary in the society, I guess.
Yeah, if kids are not able to follow the regular way, they should have, because everybody learns differently. So somebody might respond, like a little boy who has no ability to focus right now, and I love him to death. He is very highly verbal, but he can't spend more than 3 minutes on anything. So he just moves around and stuff like that, and they have to decide, he needs to learn to read when he's 6. So
so yeah, kind of not only the school, our society doesn't have so much this kind of flexibility in accordance with our individuality. That's also the problem. And I definitely worry about medicated kids.
Yeah.
Maybe very, very small amount of kids should be medicated, but currently maybe psychiatrists and media and and drug company promote this kind of thing more and more. So that's a kind of could be causing another problem in my opinion.
Exactly. I know that my sister was against getting her baby boy, I call him baby boy, drugs, and when she talked to the nurse practitioner about it, they decided to hold off and wait because they don't want to actually do that. And the other two who are also diagnosed were not told to take drugs. So, but anyway, so we got through, it looks like 2 topics. I do want to thank you for your participation in class today, and I hope to see you again in another class later on. So see you in 4 or 5 days. I'm going to take some time off. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Thanks. Bye.